Hey there everyone, this is Samuel Johnson and welcome back to the Alien Force Retrospectives. We're back to the crappy lighting for this episode as we take a look at episode 11 of Ben 10 Alien Force, Benighted. And as the name implies, this episode involves the Forever Knights. It opens up with the Forever Knights in the middle of a ceremony, and I might as well discuss this right now because it's kind of very prevalent from the very beginning of the episode. The Forever Knights got a major change in Alien Force, and this episode kind of shows it. In the original series, the Forever Knights were just kind of an organization with a medieval motif. As such, they were organized They were organized like a regular group. But they wore knights armor and they acted like regular people. It was just a group of bad guys with a medieval motif. Here in Alien Force, they state they're not. That's more than that. When we see them, there's a king. There's a whole battalion of Forever Knights in the castle. They're doing a ceremony, and it involves this guy named Connor. Sir Connor. Sorry, I'm sweating like crazy right now. Anyway, so Sir Connor is given this device that it's like a matter disassembler cannon or whatever. Essentially, he's told he needs to vanquish this creature that's locked in the bottom of the castle. So he armors up and goes down to do it. They tell him, "Oh, don't worry, it's chained up." Well, when Connor gets down there, the chain's broken, and the creature pretty much starts rampaging as it rushes out. It rushes to the top of rushes to try and get out of this cage, and it manages to escape by Sir Connor having one unlucky shot, which allows it to break down the door. And so then this creature, I might as well say it's a dragon. It's just a freaking dragon. It manages to get out of its cage and just fly off, and so we cut to Ben and Gwen in a gym as Ben's just trying to train up, and Ben's just trying to train, saying, "Well, the Omnitrix is good, but I might need something. But there might be times I need something else." So he's just trying to fix him. He's just trying to train to make himself better at other things. But in the middle of all this, Kevin comes in saying he set up a meeting with he actually set up a meeting with the Forever Knights because they're going to, as the dragon situation has caused them to want to gain outside help, or in one of them anyway, to gain outside help. A knave that they only call, well, he's a squire. That's what he is. That's his title. That's all we know him as. He's squire. Essentially, he explained of course, while Ben and Gwen are kind of resistant to going with them, all three, Ben, Gwen, and Kevin all agree that if it's so desperate that the Forever Knights are going to Ben, that must be worth paying attention to. So all three of them go to the castle and they meet up with Squire, who explains the backstory behind this dragon, that it attacked about 1,000 years ago when it landed. Several of the king's finest knights attacked it, but they couldn't vanquish it, but they were able to trap it. And so, as the years went by, the Forever Knights these group of knights became the Forever Knights as they passed the lineage of, pretty much they passed ownership of this dragon down from generation to generation, and each generation tried some new weapon on it to try and vanquish it, which is as such they were gonna, and so he tells them about their latest weapon and how it failed, and at which point Connor comes in and he's not happy with Ben coming in, but they decide but both agree that whatever this thing is, it does need some they do need help, especially since they managed to find some security footage of it that's attacking two fighter jets, which is very skillfully edited to the point where you're wondering how the heck they have all this footage. But anyway, so they managed to find out where the dragon is. It's in a field, so it's in kind of a desert plain or whatever. So Ben goes Chroma Stone to fight it, but because he feels that, because he's actually trying to think ahead, but he notices a couple things while actually fighting the creature. One, when it breathes fire on him, he's able to absorb the fire as Chroma Stone and redirect it, like a laser or energy. And on top of that, while he's attacking it, its roars seem more vocalized, like a pattern. Ben starts wondering that thing, and so Ben starts questioning what's going on, but in the meantime, as they're fighting, Connor gets the weapon ready and tries to blast the dragon while Ben's nearby, but Gwen sees this, and so she knocks the weapon aside, which allows the dragon to knock Ben aside and fly off. And so they asked Connor what the deal was. He said he was just trying to get for the dragon. Ben was just in the way, and if they get in his way again, he will end them. So Ben decides he needs to get in a more personal conversation as Connor goes back to the van. So Ben goes Humongousaur and interrogates him and Squire, and it's because it turns out they actually have an idea where the dragon might be going. And so Ben manages to get the information out of Squire, and I'll talk about Squire when I talk about things I don't like about this episode. As Squire reveals that when the dragon was found, it was found with a strange piece of alien tech, with some strange alien tech. They don't know what it was, but so they kept it hidden. As such, they assume that it was connected to the dragon. So after getting all that information out, he tells them where it is, and so they run off. And so Ben and Gwen and Kevin go where it's kept, which is a warehouse. But while driving, Ben tells Kevin and Gwen about what he heard, what he saw when he was fighting the thing. And so Ben, once they arrive at the warehouse, or I think he tells them to pull over, Ben goes into the back of Kevin's trunk and pulls out this device. And the dragon actually had a similar device on its neck, except it was burned out and kind of shot. It was burned out. And Kevin pretty much says that it's a universal translator. It pretty much takes all language in the universe and then translates it into any other language in real time. So they start thinking, is this thing they start realizing that this thing isn't exactly a dragon, it's actually an alien. So they go to the warehouse, and they manage to find it. They get into a brief tussle. Well, Ben is able to switch out the broken translator for the real one, and it turns out, yeah, it's actually a sentient being. It can talk, it can think, and it reveals what it is. It turns out it's a map maker, a celestial map maker. It came to Earth to chart out it came to Earth to chart out star positions and so forth. And when it arrived, it was attacked by the Forever Knights. As such, it's been spending these 1,000 years just getting angrier and angrier, and it pretty much hates the Forever Knights at this point, and it wants the Forever Knight, and this thing just wants the Forever Knights dead for what they took from it. So However, before Ben, Gwen, and Kevin can try talking him out of doing of getting revenge, the Forever Knights actually do arrive, except this time with more Forever Knights. And so Gwen and Kevin go outside to fight them while Ben and the dragon go to find his ship. And so they manage to find it, and while inside, the dragon pretty much opens up the secret hatch that has all these weapons in it. And Ben at this point is just trying to talk him out of it, saying, this isn't you. You can't do this. You shouldn't do this. And he says, yeah, I know, but I want to. And you would too. And it actually leads to a very nice scene that I will kind of discuss about one of the things that I like about this episode. Ben tells this guy that he could go alien and just kick his butt, but he's not going to because he doesn't have it in him. He is a good person. Even through all this, he has all this anger, and it makes sense, but he doesn't need, but he's free now. He can just leave. And so it manages to get to the map maker, and while Kevin and Gwen are not able to fully subdue the Knights outside, he manages to reactivate his ship, and he blasts off, just leaving the Knights. And so Connor, thinking that pretty much their reason for the Forever Knights existing is gone, just thinks that they're going to resign. But when he tells their king, Sir Patrick, what's going on, Sir Patrick instead thinks that this means they have a new mission. If there's one alien dragon out there, then that means there's a whole planet of them out there, and they may be seeking revenge. So odds are, they got it. The world will need them. So not only are they they have to take out the people who helped them. And so the Forever Knights have new vigor, while Squire just sits in the back, just brooding. So I liked the episode. But before we get into why I liked it, first I want to discuss some things that I kind of find weird or I just don't like. First off, I mentioned how the Forever Knights changed. Like, in the original series, they were just an organization that hoarded alien tech, and, well, were just kind of the generic bad guys, especially with Enoch and the Forever King as the representatives, because Enoch and the Forever and Driscoll in their appearances in the show weren't exactly the noble type. Like, Enoch just wanted power, he wanted control, and you could say technically he was gathering all this stuff to try and get rid of the dragon, because in his appearance he was gaming for new things. Though in the case of Ben, he was planning to dissect him in his first appearance, and even that episode with the squires and the Unnaturals, where they were planning to replace the president of the United States, that doesn't exactly fit into this goal. I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of found it to be a weird change. I don't hate it, because in some ways it feels like, because something does come out of it, because eventually they kind of retcon the meaning that they're pretty much giant what's the word? Dang it, I know the word. I've said it before. God dang it. I'll remember when I can. I'll remember it I'll remember it eventually. Because I know the word. I had it. I just had it. Okay, I'm just wasting time at this point. I'll say it when I remember it. But anyway, pretty much, they just don't want. Pretty much, they want to get rid. Pretty much, it's related to retcon that they just hate all aliens and they want to get them all. Xenophobes, yeah, they're xenophobes. They're extreme xenophobes towards aliens, and they just want them off the planet, and as such, they use their own technology against them. However, anyway. But from this, we get some nice stories, because it still maintains that they're not the good guys in the show. They're not nice. And even in this episode, they're willing to do some very underhanded things. So yeah, I don't hate the change, but I do find it weird because it just kind of feels it's just strange considering what we saw in the first series. Which also leads to something that I don't like in the episode, Squire. I don't know, he's supposed to have a character arc where he thinks, oh, the Forever Knights aren't the good guys, but we barely see it. It's just briefly alluded to, and then it's just kind of tossed to the wayside. That it really doesn't serve anything to the story. He's just the wimp, just kind of a wimp. That's it. And I don't know. It's just worthless in the grand scheme of the story. But what I do like about it is that, well, it reintroduces a new status quo. But one of the major strengths of this episode is the dragon and Ben. Like, the dragon, I like that there is more to it than just being the dragon. That it is an alien, and that and the fact that the Forever Knight, and it came to Earth as for peaceful means. It didn't want to start a fight with anyone. It was just making maps. And so, just all these years trapped, it got angry, and it would be doing anyone would do in this situation. It went nuts. It wants revenge. Of course anyone would react that way. And then, of course, one thing that I really noticed about this episode was Ben. I mentioned before how several episodes show that there are several moments where Ben kind of showed maturity, but still enough to make him recognizable as Ben. This episode is where it's exemplified. The beginning of the episode has Ben just kind of being Ben. He's fighting. He's kind of being a little dunderhead as he's just kind of fighting, doing dumb things. And even when he's asked to help the Forever Knights, he says, "Do I get a cool suit of armor?" It's just really dumb and just kind of silly. But at the same time, it also shows that this episode also shows that Ben has come a bit farther too, because he starts noting things in the battle, and I love the finale here. I think it's the best part because it's Ben talking down this thing instead of just fighting his way out. It's just Ben seeing a good person that was just pushed too far, and he's just trying to pull him back. He's trying to tell him, you're a good person. Don't let them turn you into don't let them make you a monster. And again, like, yeah, he can get his revenge, and it makes sense. And it makes sense because as I said, anyone would be angry at that. Anyone would want revenge for being trapped for doing nothing. But Ben's just trying to talk him out of it and say, you're a good person. I know you won't hurt me. Just go. You're free. You can go home. And I like that. This episode, to me, exemplifies the change with Ben, because there are silly moments abound with Ben being Ben. And just him making small comments, or it's Kevin like, oh, you talk, even though you talk after he tells about what the dragon is, or just small jabs, or just even some stupid lines that he says, oh, this is just a misunderstanding, and the dragon says, a misunderstanding? It's really nice. It's really nice. It's got silly moments, but at the same time, it shows the strength of how it shows what these characters have matured, and I like that. And that's honest, and really on the whole, it's just a rather nice episode. I like the Forever Knights are different, but I think they're serviceable. I like the stuff with the dragon. I just loved seeing the character bits. I think it's just a nice episode. I know it's not great, but for what it is, I think it's still a really nice episode. And I think, in fact, now that I think you get over, I think it actually could be a nice little union of kind of. I think this episode's a nice little union of what worked in Ben 10. It just kind of what worked in Ben 10 and what when this show. And I think actually it might be one of the reasons why the Forever Knights are brought in as a major component because they were because they were main villains in the original show. So throw them in there and help get a familiar element. I think I like that. I like that. But yeah, on the whole, this episode is nice. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson. I apologize again for the lighting. I'll try to fix it. I'll try to fix it up on YouTube tomorrow. So try and deal with it till then. But tune in next week where we look at the next episode. We look at the next episode of Ben 10, and we're introduced to more children whose parents should not have been able to. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson. I'll see you next week. Take care.